the last 40 days of a 16-year faith walk. I had a truly amazing experience with Duke University's Brain Tumor Center. I want and need to pay it forward. I am sharing my journey from brain tumor discovery to brain tumor surgery with you in hopes that you'll be inspired to join me in this effort. When I went to bed on July 19th with the confluence of body, mind, and spirit, I knew I needed to walk by faith. Sometime after 11 p.m., God woke me with a spasm that traveled up my left side from my foot to the top of my head. In a panic as the spasm passed across my heart, my husband asked and told at the same time, "Emergency room." Knowing this was serious on the way to the emergency room, I don't recall if a word was spoken between us. En route, I cried out with a simple prayer, "God, whatever it is, reveal it." I knew in less than an hour after unexplainable pains for over 15 years, a brain tumor. I cried for just a moment, and without angst in his voice and my 5-year-old by his side, my husband declared, "We believe in God." Not knowing where or who to turn to with surgery scheduled in 2 weeks, my husband, guided by God, called Duke University's Brain Tumor Center the very next morning. An immediate and unexpected response. No referral and insurance questions. Duke was interested in my symptoms and diagnosis. Dr. Henry Freeman called that day. "I know the man for your surgery. Dr. Alan Freeman, no relation. Do not make a move before hearing back from Duke." After forwarding records to Duke and saying to my husband, "It's Sunday, we will not hear from anyone today," the phone rings and it's Dr. Henry Freeman. "You need surgery. Interested? Absolutely. We will make it happen." After a brief call on Friday, I meet on August 4th with Dr. Alan Freeman, a confident, quirky gentleman whose mere presence gives my family assured confidence. Dr. Freeman informed me he had to push my proposed surgery date to the right due to his schedule. I was not in the least bit discouraged. Although others had shared concerns that he may be too aggressive, the Lord had already placed it in my spirit and on my heart to wait for Dr. Freeman. On August 27th, as I waited for surgery, I needed my advance directive sign. 2 gentlemen next door with their loved one agreed. As one stepped out of the room, he stated, "I'm a pastor and I'm going to pray for you." I was ready. The brain surgeon, anesthesiologist, and physician assistant prepared me. I would be awake during surgery to minimize risk of paralysis. However, as we learn, things do not always go as planned. When awakened, I experienced unexplainable hip pain and heard the brain surgeon say, "Put her back to sleep." My hips felt like they were in a vice grip, being cranked all the way down. During that initial meeting after surgery, Dr. Freeman reported that in all his years he had not had a patient experience such pain, but he had still removed the entire bulk of the mass. Although stunned with amazement because I am still human, I already knew divine intervention because it was he and not me guiding Dr. Freeman's hands. "Dr. Alan Freeman, I know you are no God. There is but one, but you and your amazing team epitomize all he represents. Don't get me wrong, I believe the glory is God's, but you were one of the many angels among us who I could not have traveled this road without." In the words of my pastor, I am a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle. Having walked 3 times around the ICU before seeing the doctor on August 28th, I left the hospital just 1 day after brain surgery. Although I am abundantly blessed and resources weren't an issue, I strongly believe that resources should not limit anyone's blessings, a principle demonstrated by Duke. This is my first attempt to pay it forward. The 2016 Angels Among Us 5K Run and 3K Walk on April 23, 2016. Please visit angelsamongus.org to contribute to my team. Winks from God. No team monetary goal per se. Desires to reach at least 1 million people. If each gave a quarter, we could raise $250,000. Think big. The amazing work happening at the Preston Robert Tisch Brain Tumor Center at Duke deserves nothing less. Why Winks from God? Discuss with my neighbor how my journey from brain tumor discovery to removal was perfectly and purposely orchestrated in exactly 40 days. No coincidences. She mentioned her son calls those winks from God. During the 40 days, God winked daily. It is the only way any of this makes sense. I was so blessed by so many people in so many ways. Just like God brought people together to bless me, collectively, we can bless so many others. Please contribute to my team, Winks from God, at angelsamongus.org.